Today I'm going to share with you some thoughts from Lamentations. Now, I actually like Lamentations. I think these poems that are based on that acrostic pattern where you take each letter of the alphabet and then actually put a thought to it, they're amazing. And yes, there's a pain in Lamentations. The destruction of Jerusalem, just seeing that which was once so grand and so great reduced to rubble, is painful. And yet, in the midst of it, somehow there are shafts of beauty that come through the brokenness, like sunlight breaking through the clouds. And there are just some amazing statements in these poems. And the one I'm going to share with you, it stretches across a few verses. It says this in verse 25 of chapter 3. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him. It's good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. And then it also says it's good for a man to bear the yoke while he's young. And I've had to remind a lot of people of that actually, take responsibility on. But what I want to focus on is this fact that it says that those whose hope is in him. God sees that even in the midst of hopelessness, there are those who will reach out in hope, that can be in brokenness and destruction and say, God is still good. And the Lord actually is good to those whose hope is in him, to those who are seeking him in the midst of every situation, believing that God's here to identify with us in our need. And it says it's good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. Sometimes you think when we're waiting, it's like nothing's happening. But actually, God delights in that patient waiting. He sees it. And even whilst we're patiently waiting, he's working in us. We're waiting for him to come, and yet he's actually there, calming our hearts, making it possible for us to wait in patience in the midst of challenge. So I don't know what you're facing at the moment. Maybe you're not in any situation that seems like destruction and dust and rubble or anything else like that around you, but just realize that God does delight in those who wait patiently. God wants to be good to those of us who hope and seek him. There's a lot going on in Lamentations. And I guess there's a lot going on in our world today. And we need to be people that wait patiently in hope as we seek God, prepared to take on responsibility even in our youth, because we know that God will work in our lives.